The world outside was heavy with rain. It had been falling for days, thick, silver curtains that blurred the houses, turned the roads to rivers, and sent even the bravest creatures running for shelter. On the edge of town, where the cracked sidewalks gave up and fields stretched wild and endless, stood a little white house with faded blue shutters, sagging just slightly with the years, and with life. Inside that house, 6-month-old Jonah lay in his crib by the window, cocooned in a sea of soft blankets. His tiny body, still and delicate, could barely twitch under the weight of paralysis, a cruel twist of fate that had gripped him before he ever got a chance to discover the world. But his heart, oh, his heart was fierce. His big brown eyes, framed by lashes too long for someone so small, soaked in every detail. The way the raindrops clung together like old friends, the way the windowpane shook when the wind got brave, the way light, when it could find a crack in the clouds, splintered into tiny rainbows. Jonah's parents loved him with an ache so big it sometimes stole the breath from their lungs. They filled his world with warmth, soft colors, gentle music, the sweet smell of lavender from a diffuser by his crib. They sang lullabies into the curve of his ear, read picture books aloud even though he couldn't yet reach for them. But late at night, when the house had gone quiet and the storms outside raged, a different kind of fear would creep into their hearts, a fear that love, no matter how fierce, might not be enough to shield their little boy from loneliness. And then, on one sodden afternoon when hope itself seemed wrinkled and damp, life sent them a miracle disguised as a mess. A small, scruffy figure limped into their yard, a dog, if you could still call him that. He was all bones and mud, a ragged patchwork of fur and scars. His tail drooped, his head hung low, yet somehow, even battered by hunger and cold, his eyes still held a soft, stubborn light, the kind that doesn't burn out easily. He nosed around the porch, shivering, his body too tired to fight anymore. With a soft whimper, he curled against the door, his thin body forming a question he was too broken to ask aloud, "Please." Inside, Jonah saw him first. His eyes widened, fixing on the shape through the misted window. His mouth formed a tiny O, silent but full of wonder. His little fingers twitched, the tiniest ripple of excitement in a body that often refused him even that. His soul seemed to thrum against the crib rails, sending out a call no one else could hear. When Jonah's mother walked in and followed his gaze, her heart clenched. She saw the shape, at first only a muddy blur, and frowned. But as she stepped closer, the blur became a being, desperate, shaking, waiting. She scooped Jonah into her arms, feeling his slight weight, feeling the way he buzzed with something she hadn't seen before. Together, they went to the door. She opened it slowly, and the rain blew in like a breath from another world. The dog lifted his head. Their eyes met, woman, child, and wanderer, and in that fragile, shivering second, something wordless passed between them, recognition. "Hey, buddy," she whispered, her voice breaking. Jonah stirred against her chest, an undeniable twitch, a small miracle. His mother gasped, a sob of hope catching at the back of her throat. The dog, sensing everything, took a careful step forward. He didn't bark, he didn't whine, he just walked inside, as if he had always belonged there. He shook himself once, water spraying across the hardwood floors, and then padded straight to Jonah, sitting down with a heavy sigh, eyes lifting to the baby's face. "I see you," he seemed to say. Jonah's smile broke open like a sunrise, sudden, breathtaking, real. And just like that, the house was no longer filled with only the sound of rain and soft lullabies. It was filled with something stronger, belonging. They named him Chance, because that's what he was, a second chance for joy, for healing, for something that had been missing but no one could quite name until now. Chance became Jonah's constant companion, his silent champion. He learned to move gently, to rest his big shaggy head on Jonah's lap without jostling him, to stay still when Jonah's tiny hands tried, and sometimes managed, to brush against him. Every wag of his tail, every warm nuzzle, seemed to coax Jonah's spirit closer to the surface. And slowly, impossibly, Jonah began to move. First a finger, then a hand, then the smallest, stubbornest wiggle of toes. Every tiny victory brought laughter, tears, and wide-eyed amazement. The doctors marveled. The neighbors whispered. But inside the little white house with the blue shutters, no one needed an explanation. They already knew, love was the magic. Love, and the scruffy heartbeat that had limped into their lives on a rainy day. The rain didn't last forever. One morning, the clouds finally packed their bags and the sun spilled back into the world. Flowers trembled into bloom at the edge of the fields, and the air smelled of fresh earth and new beginnings. If you were lucky enough to pass by the little white house on a golden afternoon, you might catch a glimpse of them, a baby with eyes full of wonder and a dog with a heart stitched together from every broken piece he had ever carried. Lying side by side in a patch of sunlight, they dreamed their dreams together, not of what was lost, but of everything that was still to come. Because sometimes, when two broken souls find each other, the cracks don't just mend. They make a window, wide enough for the whole world to shine through.